You know when you start playing a game that gets you so invested that you have to finish it in less than 24 hours after you got it? Well, Firewatch was that game for me. And if you've played the game or even seen one of the many YouTube videos gushing about it, then you know the main reason is that the story is phenomenal. But I want to do something different and discuss the genius mechanics in game design. Though if you do stay till the later half of the video, I will talk about the story for a little because it really is just that good. So if you haven't played the game, then I would highly recommend that you leave then and go play it. But feel free to stick around for now because I will give plenty of warning before I talk about it. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about the great game design of Firewatch. Firewatch relies almost entirely on its narrative, with the mechanics simply acting as a way to tell this amazing story. But this whole relationship between the story and the mechanics only works if the mechanics function in a very specific way. They have to be boring enough that they don't take away from the story, while being interesting enough that they don't make the game tedious. And most importantly, they have to function in a way that allows the story to unfold naturally. But how did Firewatch achieve this balance? Well, Firewatch is a part of the genre that has come to be known as walking simulators, which are games that when boiled down to their most simple version, are just walking from one point to another. So to put it bluntly, walking is the core mechanic of Firewatch. Sounds pretty boring, but here's how it works so well for the game. First off, the game is constantly asking you to take your attention away from the mechanics in order to listen to the dialogue between you and Delilah, who is another Firewatch in the park and a key part of the story. During these frequent sections of the game, you are paying much more attention to the dialogue, and the gameplay becomes a sort of filter to listen to it through. This is exactly why having the gameplay be primarily walking is so genius. It is simple, and it doesn't take much active attention from the player, letting them quickly shift their focus onto the most important part of the game in the blink of an eye. On the same note, there is a really smart trick that the game employs in order to keep the player engaged through both the dialogue and the gameplay. See, when looking around the game world, you will occasionally see a message come up when looking at something or entering a new area. This message then allows you to report something to Delilah, which returns the game to its most engaging part, being the story and the dialogue. But having these things be attainable only through the gameplay not only makes it so the player is not getting bored, but also results in the player naturally exploring and examining the game world. And having the player actively examine the world is also very important, as it is a huge part of the game's natural navigation. At the click of a button, you can pull up a fixed map of the park and a compass that can help you orient yourself. These two aspects pair together to make a navigation system that feels very close to how it would if you were really navigating this park. This system is the perfect way to keep the walking interesting while also keeping the essential balance between not taking away from the story while also not straying too far and becoming tedious. This balance is very hard to achieve, but Firewatch did it perfectly. And with the game design section concluded, let's talk about the story. As a final warning, I will be talking about spoilers, so if you want to avoid them, I'd recommend clicking off the video now. Okay, now that everyone who doesn't want spoilers is hopefully gone, holy cow, I've honestly never played a game that made me feel the way that Firewatch did. It pulled me into Henry's shoes and had me on the edge of my seat throughout all of the weird conspiracies that were happening. It made me feel like I had a real connection to Delilah, and I was excited to see the grand ending when all the things suddenly made sense. But that didn't happen. Instead, I was left with an unsatisfying answer to the conspiracy and was never able to actually meet Delilah. It all felt so wrong, like I had stumbled upon the wrong ending for the game. And until the credits began to run, I was still waiting for that aha moment. But it never came. Though, as I was thinking about the ending throughout the rest of the day, I realized that it is actually genius. because the feelings that you as the player feel are exactly the same as the ones that Henry is faced with. After a summer of trying to get away from his problems, he is suddenly pulled back down to reality. This is honestly such a unique take on a game ending, and in all honesty, it made it so much more memorable. Well done, Campo Santo. Well done. That will wrap it up for this video, but if you manage to stay to this point, maybe consider subscribing so you can see more content like this. I'm a very small YouTuber who's trying to grow, and it would mean the world to me. But with that said, my name is Hoozy, and I hope to see you in the next one.